Reprogramming India for Fast Growth, ICT is the key, is the topic of our next session, and we are honored to have with us today Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, Minister of Law and Justice, Communications and Information Technology, Government of India, as the keynote speaker for the session. We are also privileged to have Mr. Nikhil Meswani, Executive Director, Reliance Industries Limited, and Mr. Sudhir Jalan, Chairman of the Convention and Chairman, Neo Foods Private Limited, in the session. May I now invite Mr. Nikhil Meswani, Executive Director, Reliance Industries Limited, to deliver the welcome address, please.
Very good morning to you. Honorable Minister Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, Sudhir Jalan ji, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you to the second plenary session on reprogramming India for fast growth. ICT is the key. I also take this opportunity to congratulate AIMA on its 41st National Management Convention and also congratulate them for starting something the first time, which is the live vote. As you all know, we are going to ask your opinion, can IT improve the delivery of governance and justice in India? And I am sure all of us will wholeheartedly vote, as we all value your opinion. You will be able to see the results on the screen in a little while. Let me compliment our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, for having the foresight and laying the vision for electronic governance called Digital India. The architect behind this initiative is none other than our Honorable Minister, Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, who is amongst us today. Sir, we are honored by your presence. The dream of Digital India will pave way for the next phase of growth and development. My belief is that this initiative will bring prosperity to the rural India, the India that matters, the Bharat that matters. It was in the NDA regime that the National Telecom Policy was announced. Soon after that, India transgressed from less than 40 million telecom lines across the country to over 900 million lines today, including mobile phones. We have underestimated the revolution it has brought, and the cost of communication is down from $1 a minute to a cent a minute. I think for India, this is, in that sense, a very proud moment. We continue to add 1 million consumers, roughly, every month. We have to rekindle growth and refocus in strengthening the sector as we move from second-generation telephony to broadband services. Industrial age, ladies and gentlemen, gave us more innovative products than the previous 1900 years. Now is the emergence of information age. As we move towards better connectivity, availability of broadband will lead and convert India into a knowledge economy. This is the time of big data. As Eric Schmidt says, from the dawn of civilization until 2003, mankind generated 5 exabytes of data. 5 exabytes is nothing but 1 with 18 zeros. We now produce 5 exabytes of data, believe or not, every 2 days. That is the change that we need to embrace. An example is in the research of DNA. A research in DNA used to cost $1 lakh many years ago. Today it costs $10,000, 1/10. The target is to bring it to $300 so that it can be affordable to the common man. This is possible by big data and by broadband. Big data decode genome services which will help us to analyze our ancestry and improve our health. There is an imperative need to use ICT to transform healthcare, education and infrastructure, which lies at the heart of our nation transformation and will make a difference to the people at the bottom of the pyramid. Availability of driverless cars, 3D printing and wearable electronics will impact our lives in a way we have not imagined. Just think of the next James Bond movie and probably it will be true. The capability of ICT companies is well known by the recent listing of Alibaba, where it is valued higher than Citibank, Boeing and Pepsi Cola put together. I strongly think there is one opportunity for India to reimagine our future by embracing the digital revolution. That's why reprogramming India. Today, we have 250 million Indians using the digital world. In the next 5 to 7 years, this number will more than double to nearly half our population. Digital devices are finding their design equilibrium and becoming ubiquitous. Processing costs are plummeting with cloud technology. Imagine the power of 1 billion connected minds. Imagine the power of the 1 billion connected minds operating smart and intelligent machines. This is a new transformation. But this is just a beginning for all of us. Today, millions of Indians, young Indians, post every little detail on the social networks in this communicating world. On the other side, government across the world acknowledge the right of the citizens to information. With the advent of e-commerce, every mobile phone owner has a potential business plan in his pocket. That is what the tomorrow's digital world will do. Just imagine, by doing all this, if we can raise the income of rural Indians from $2 a day to $10 a day. Imagine how it will fundamentally transform India. As we embrace this digital age, we need to be having empathy. Our emotions are as similar to the wireless connection we have when we pray every morning with God. India has untapped potential virtually in every sector of our economy. Every Indian wants to be a part of this growth story, and hence I must compliment Ms. Preetha Reddy and Rekha Sethi for choosing the theme, Reprogramming India, ICT in Today's Times. With that, I have the task of introducing someone who needs no introduction whatsoever. It is my privilege and pleasure to introduce our Honorable Minister for Law and Justice, Communication and Information Technology, Sri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji. He is a distinguished politician, a legal luminary, and a veteran parliamentarian. A news channel, if it has not invited him, I think it is not worth watching. His eloquent debates and answers to the question have always left an indelible image in my mind, and his replies very precise, sharp, dignified, and above all, politically always correct. This, sir, is a rare quality. Our ministers holds 2 portfolios, law and justice, communication and information technology. Both of them have a lot of baggage over the last few years. He has rightly made sure that the baggage is left behind and the new task has been started. A new dawn has begun. Who would have imagined that the reform for the judicial appointments would be done in the very first 100 days of this government? Sir, my compliments to you. The ease with which this was done only demonstrate his capability, par excellence, and while we talk, he actually demonstrates his actions speak louder than his words. Sir, we are very honored to have you amongst us, and it is my privilege to introduce you and to invite you to address all of us. Thank you.
Mr. Nikhil Maiswani, Sudhir Babu, I always call him Sudhir Babu because people from Calcutta who have distinguished themselves are called Babu. Therefore, I will prefer to call him Sudhir Babu instead of Sudhir Jalan. Respected, very distinguished person who is not only a friend and a kind of intimate person with whom I exchange quite frequently, and I hold him in great personal regard. Distinguished Member of Parliament, Madam Anuaga, Preetha Reddy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in a very peculiar situation. Last year I came to your annual general meeting. Then I was the deputy leader of opposition in the Rajya Sabha. I made a case for change in India. And thereafter, after I became minister, Preetha Reddy barged into my chamber in the parliament that if you ask for a change has occurred, therefore come and address the annual general meeting again this year. This is how I can only explain my presence. It is more under compulsion, least by choice, which I could not say no. What is the meaning of 2014, ladies and gentlemen? It is really a game-changing moment for India. It was perhaps for the first time, and being an activist from my student life, having seen and participated in so many elections, that governance and growth came to the center stage of India's politics. People wanted a change. People wanted a change for the better. People expected growth for India. And that is indeed a new dynamics which arose in the politics of India. I remember I was a key component of the whole campaign process. I am conservative by temperament. One day before the counting, we were sitting. I stretched, overstretched, and I stopped at 2:30. I said, I cannot stretch beyond this. And then next day when I was sitting on channels and Sudhir Babu, it was Arnav Goswami I was sitting with. He told me, Mr. Prasad, your party has got majority on its own. And it was a very emotional and humbling moment for all of us. And along with allies, we got 340. It is a fine demonstration of the impeccable democratic credentials of India. And therefore, the Prime Minister says one thing very clearly. Two words, or two alphabets to be precise. One is D, one is S. Democracy, demography, and demand. These are the three issues which are going to catapult India, the biggest assets of India. And the second is speed, is scale, and is skill. These two are the overpowering mantras. And if this was the mantra, naturally IT had to play a very crucial role. How IT is transforming India, I would like to share some interesting experiences, which I have shared at many other places. You know this Rajat Sharma of India TV, Aapki Adalat. I had gone to that function, and a lot of drilling is done by the people in the audience. It is a 1-hour program. We were having lunch. And he told me a very interesting anecdote. Whenever he used to return to his home in Greater Kailash from Noida, he found his servant sitting at a particular spot on a motorcycle and playing with his smartphone. On the third day, he asked his wife why the hell he always sits there and plays with his mobile phone. His wife gave a very simple reply. The house in front of that has got the best Wi-Fi connectivity, and he plays on his smartphone and sees the Brazil football match. You can see that. Yesterday, I returned from Germany. Before that, I had gone to Brunei to participate in the Asia Pacific IT Minister, Communication Ministers Conference. While returning, we had a change of flight at Bangkok airport. And all of you who would have gone to Bangkok must have noticed a new statue has been installed there, Samudra Manthan. You know, a very big statue is there and very fascinating. I stopped there, asked my PS and the embassy people, let me have my photograph of mine. It was taken on my smartphone, and my PS put it on my Facebook. Within 2 days, 45,000 comments came. And what I had said, I wish we could also install these cultural images of India's heritage at public places. This is what I had dictated. You know, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday my PS told me 5 lakh people have seen that and 45,000 hits have come. It is a new India. And the third is all the more interesting. After I became a minister, some of my clients whose cases I had argued in the Supreme Court came to wish me. They were Shia Muslims weavers from Kashi and adjoining areas of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. So they were happy, they came, but they were quite worried. They were weavers basically, and had come with a lovely sari for my wife as well, with Banarasi silk. And they were quite worried as to what is happening in Iraq. And suddenly one lanky old gentleman takes out his smartphone, goes to YouTube, downloads a very gruesome video as to what is happening in Iraq and shows it to me. And I was amazed. This man may not be able to even write anything, but how intelligently he is using the smartphone for the purposes he would love to have. From there, and the Prime Minister is one of the most followed man on new media, you all know it, I need not say that. He has been pushing, in fact, one of his programs, CM Online, was even awarded by the UN. In Gujarat, I have seen that. DM Online, CM Online, SDM Online. If SDM doesn't do, it go to DM. If DM doesn't do, go to CM. And the instruction was every complaint has to be disposed of with a yes or no. You can't keep it lingering. Then came another great powerful slogan. IT plus IT is equal to IT. India's talent today plus information technology is equal to India tomorrow. That's how it came about. And from there, ladies and gentlemen, came this whole concept of Digital India. It is a game changer program. What is Digital India? We have decided to link all the Gram Panchayats of India by broadband in the coming 3 years. 50,000 this year, 1 lakh next year, 1 lakh thereafter. And all it is being done at a whopping cost of 30,000 crore by the Government of India from the USO fund. And thereafter, we propose to set up the Government User Network, the GUN, whereby it will go further to the villages. How it is going to work out? As I say, India is a very aspirational society and will lead to 3 clear upshots. A, e-education. B, e-health. And third, the most important, e-commerce. When a presentation was given to me on e-commerce, growth in India, I was truly amazed. It is silently changing the entire consumer profile of India. Many of friends are having their books on Flipkart and getting it quite cheap. My exposure to e-commerce came under very interesting circumstances. One of my niece stays in New York, and she knows my one fascination that I would like to pick up some couple of shoes in New York or wherever I go. And she got me a lovely website of the best shoe manufacturer. Mama, please see what you would like to have. And I go, what is this? This is about 7, 8 years ago, 9 years ago. And she showed me the design and the sole. And I go, marvelous. Can we replicate in India? Today, ladies and gentlemen, with the broadband connectivity happening, it is going to be a game changer because Indian society is aspirational. 2 things I always notice whenever I travel to the rural India, urban. One is English medium school. Maybe English may have been spelled wrongly also. And the second is ladies' beauty parlor. This is changing profile of India. Even in rural India wants to aspire. And I see the explosion of e-commerce as satisfying that aspiration for a new emerging India. From education, from health, warehouses coming in a big way in the Mufassil town and rural India. That's what we wish to aspire. And what I would like you to suggest, I was the Information Broadcasting Minister in Mr. Bajpayee government, and many of these new means of television connectivity was established when I was there. Tata Sky started when I was the minister. I facilitated that. Other DTH came into being. This FM channel liberalization was done by me. And surely how India got digitized in the field of television retailer distribution. Similarly, ladies and gentlemen, I see once we are able to establish this enormous explosion of retail outlets in the field of broadband spread. And that is where the public-private partnership is going to be a game changer. And the demands of the people will propel the growth. That's how I see this whole Digital India exercise, whose objective is basically three. One, digital infrastructure in terms of connectivity. B, digital governance. The governance must be available on demand, from your school certificate to caste certificate to land records, and the state governments will be able to incorporate that backhand by circumstances. And thirdly, citizen empowerment. The Prime Minister launched a program, Disha, digital literacy, whereby we propose to give proper literacy program in local language for 10 hours, 20 hours and 40 hours. At no cost for the people who are the marginalized or the BPL, and marginal cost for the others. This is the total scenario which I foresee, which we are pushing. And the resultant consequence of this exercise, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a big game changer in the shape of electronic manufacturing. As I just told the earlier meeting before I came here, when I became minister, I was giving a presentation. I asked them in simple Hindi, Hindustan mein mobile phone banta hai. We have 90 crore mobile connectivity in India, you know that. And all is imported. SIM cards, smart cards, medical electronics. We have practically nothing. Then we learned to my dismay that the duty structure was bad. And you recall that we had immediate initiative in the budget where in the last 40 years, the most exciting incentives were given for electronic manufacturing in India by straightening of the duty structures. There was a program almost dead, electronic clusters, which we are pushing in a very big way in the states. At a meeting of IT and ministers and secretaries, we explained them what is the game changer, changing potential of this whole electronic manufacturing in India. We can give jobs to 2 crore plus people. You will be happy to know that now there is a competition among chief ministers. Give me a cluster, give me a cluster. About 7, 8, we have agreed in principle. Next month, in the first, second week, I am going to lay the foundation in Bhopal and Jabalpur. This is how we are going to have quality products. And once this I went to Germany, I just came day before yesterday. Germany is an important place for electronic manufacturing. I had a very wonderful exchange there from Munich to Dresden to Berlin to Frankfurt. And people are seeing towards India with a lot of hope and a great potential, because the sheer demand of 1 billion plus people is quite known there. Therefore, Mr. Meswani was absolutely right. The IT potential is a game changer potential. And the Prime Minister is himself driving it. I want to share a little word about the Prime Minister and his working style. I had worked in Mr. Bajpayee government. I am working with him. I have known him for the last so many years. Mr. Modi was the Chief Minister of Gujarat for 14 years. He did not take a single day leave, including Saturday and Sunday. He was campaigning in the country, addressed 340 public meetings. One he missed out, only one, because the local president died in an unfortunate road accident, therefore it had to be cancelled. He used to return at 11 o'clock in Ahmedabad, had a meeting with his campaign team, 1 hour meeting with the DGP and Chief Secretary about governance need. He used to go to bed at 2:30, was at airport at 6:30 in the morning. First meeting in Manipur, second in Chennai, third in Haryana, God knows, you have seen on television. He won India with the blessings of the people of India. He remained in Gujarat for 3 days, got a new Chief Minister installed, took farewell from the people of Gujarat, and thereafter it is 14-15 hours every day. We have no Saturday or Sunday. His style of functioning I would like to share. He is taking presentation from all the departments. Ladies and gentlemen, he devoted 2.5 hours on IT. And the presentation means the Prime Minister, his secretary, the concerned minister and the concerned secretary. No joint secretary director to look back upon. The secretary has to make the presentations. He devoted 2 hours on communication and 1.5 hours on postal. And my law and justice turn is yet to come because he's busy with other departments. Therefore, it is very refreshing to get Prime Minister pick up his phone and tell me, Ravi, how are you? How are things going? I'm monitoring it. This IT change in India, we are going to monitor in that way, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm sure it is going to be a great game changer, because this is what we owe to the posterity of India. This infrastructure in terms of governance, this infrastructure in terms of empowerment, and just give you certain instances. We launched a portal, eGov, which was a kind of a feedback from the people of India about the growth trajectory of India. And we asked them to give their advice on girl child, on Ganga cleaning, on environment, etc. Within a fortnight, we got 2.5 lakh concrete suggestions along with videos as to what they have done and what they want us to do. I asked them to design the e-greetings for the Prime Minister on 15th of August. 3,000 suggestions came, from which we picked a few, and the Prime Minister ended up sending 35 lakhs e-greetings to people of India, the bureaucrats, the journalists, the legislative bodies, representatives, etc., etc. On August 28, to be precise, we had the Jan Dhan Yojana launched for financial inclusion. We wanted to have mobile checked bank account for poor people. On the same day, we organized 77,000 functions all over the country, big and small. All of us went outside, I went to Chennai. And we ended up having 1 crore 25 lakh bank account open on a single day. Now it has crossed 4 crores. And the Prime Minister, in the most unconventional way, sending personal email of greetings to 7 lakh bank employees of India. And the third is all the more interesting. On 5th of September, to be precise, you may have seen on the Teachers' Day, the birthday of late President Dr. Radhakrishnan. The Prime Minister chose to talk to the young students of India in schools. On the same day, single day, he talked to 18 lakh schools in India, some of whom were asking questions from him, including in Delhi, and talked to nearly 2 crore students of India to the power of technology. And one of them was the best from Manipur. A young boy asked, Mr. Prime Minister, can I become the Prime Minister? And he said, surely, wait for 10 years. This is how, ladies and gentlemen, India is changing. The new media, the power of technology, information technology is changing India. And it will be India for the better. I am so impressed when I learned, to my present surprise, ladies and gentlemen, that 70% of the Google traffic outside America is from India. I am so happy to note when John Chambers of that company meets, or Facebook people come and meet me, they say, many of my people, they are Indians. Google, Microsoft has some of their biggest facility outside USA and India. Many of the products have been designed by Indians. And the first outing I made after being a minister was to Bangalore, where I met not only NASSCOM people, but also the young mind who have come from Silicon Valley, hardly 25, 30, and having a great ambition to come with good startup software products. And that is a very interesting anecdote I would like to share with you. I asked one of them, young man, what is the difference between you and other big IT companies in India? And his reply showed his ambition and also confidence. I would like to share. Sir, they are tailors. We make ready-made shirts. I was taken aback. What do you mean? We give our own products. They stitch upon demand from someone else. I was amazed. I come here, I patted him, keep this confidence alive. And ladies and gentlemen, I have not the slightest doubt that regardless of the prophecy of doom and defeatism, a new India is emerging, which wants a platform to share, an instrument to grow, and a technology to share. And I think the IT technology, the ICT instrument, and the Digital India program is going to be a game changer. I can only tell you, one of the style of functioning of the Prime Minister is very clear, which is also my style, that while the governance keeps on going, he picks up certain big dots and takes it as a priority agenda. And today, Digital India is a big program like that. This has got great potential to change India. And ladies and gentlemen, let me commend that program to you and seek your support. Let us collectively change India. Thanks a lot. Namaskar.
So we have some time for questions after that very, very inspiring address. And I would actually like to invite questions from the floor. Yes, please.
Thank you, Chair. I am G.D. Sharma. Yeah, we can hear you.
Go ahead.
I don't need it, but thank you. I am G.D. Sharma. Honorable Minister Saab, it is a really great pleasure to hear from you regarding IT and ITC. My only worry or question is there any roadmap for securing our data, for securing our networks, and securing our hardware and infrastructure? In the month of February, there was a news item. India has got agreement with one Israel firm and France firm for manufacturing of the semiconductor chips in India. I do not know what is the further progress, and unless we have the semiconductor chips, I do not think our networks data are secured, although IT, ICT will do the development in India many folds. And secondly, when IT, ICT and its user are going so much ahead in numbers, there will be consequently energy requirement. I hope that is also being looked into, but my more concern is on the security of network and manufacturing of semiconductor chips. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I would like to tell you that you talked of February 2014. India has changed drastically after 26th of May 2014. The first thing you must keep in mind. It is a different India. जब मैं प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में बैठता हूं तो पत्रकारों से कहता हूं सवाल क्या जवाब सुनिए, तो मैंने शुरू ही किया, आप पेशेंस लूज कर गए. प्लीज हैव पेशेंस. As far as semiconductor is concerned, you are right. Two initiatives have been taken. Work is in progress. Some of them are arranging finance. Others have gone into it. We have a lot of incentives available for them. Extraordinary incentives. We are persuading them. But chip design, chip manufacturing ought to be there. But it doesn't mean that other electronic manufacturing products must be installed. It has to go simultaneously. As far as the security of data is concerned, surely that is an area of concern. I have taken a presentations. In the cabinet note, we are going to come with a whole architecture of digital security in India. We are giving our great focus on that.
Sir, one question.
I will reply only to whom Mr. Meswani identifies.
Okay.
Okay?
Sir, Nikhil, please.
Nikhil. Okay.
Okay. Can I
Yes,
ask a
please,
question?
go ahead.
Sir, are you planning to use ICT in the judicial system also? Because things are very slow. And
I get it.
another small question is that, if I have to owe somebody money, and I know if I go to court, I'm going to get some 6% interest. If there's a punitive interest, then I will not go to court. So I think courts also need to change their thinking, whether how to reduce, because they're being choked with so many things which are coming up. So it takes about 8 years, 10 years to get the money from anybody. So that's a question.
That's a very good question. I can tell you that 13,000 courts in India have been digitized. I was given a presentation on this, and our NIC have done a great job in that. They asked me, sir, which court you would like to go? I said, take me to a court in Tripura, Anuaga. And they took me exactly to a court of judicial magistrate first class. How many cases are listed on that day? I was very impressed. I got a very interesting information from a client. He said, Mr. Minister, when we go for appeal against a lower court order, appeal cannot be heard unless the record comes. Why should I go on every date till the record comes? Why can't your computer at a click of a button show that my record has been received or not received? I have asked them to do that. This children lost and found. A big portal is also going to be finally become a reality, where we can have a portal where children who are lost can identify themselves so that people can find who are looking for themselves. Other issue is, I am very keen that the pendency of all the high courts must be available, judicial record display. I think we'll succeed very soon. We are in dialogue. So the pendency is very much there. Two things I am following very closely. This traffic challan cases, 18 lakhs in number. Those who don't pay have to suffer the consequences. Can we do that? You talked of penal interest. I am talking of check bouncing cases. We have got 22 lakhs check bouncing cases. And we have come with a law whereby we want to have a Lok Adalat kind of an alternative dispute resolution. If you don't pay, suffer summary trial. These things are going on. I can only say the second phase of digital courts exercise is going on. We'll certainly push it in a very big way, and the power of ICT is to be used. As regards pendency, that is a separate chapter, we'll talk about it. But people of India in a democracy have got the right to go to courts, including all of you. On non-payment of your interest also you go to court. That's your right, isn't it?
Thank you, sir.
आप देखिए, आप बताइए, मैं इसका
The
जवाब दूं.
lady there. One moment, please. The lady there.
How much time you want me? Tell me.
My question is about whenever there are digital crimes, when the police have to act, I find they are very poorly skilled in ICT, and we feel miserable whenever there are such cases. Police skilling in ICT is very much needed.
I think police skilling in ICT in metropolitan cities has become very good. But I totally agree with you. In police governance improvement, exposure to ICT is more important. And that point is well taken. And it's being emphasized everywhere.
Namaste, sir. This is from Tumkur Management Association. My name is Dinakar Reddy. As you said, there are 70% of Google traffic is from India. And hope the Honorable Minister would also be known that from India there is a boy who just made with a T-search engine, which is there with the highest. And if at all a person like you who just elevated as an Indian and from Indian technology is a search engine which is having 300 times better than Google. If that will be spelled from your words.
All right, give me a note about that. I'll appreciate that. I'll use that.
Yes.
Thank you. Surely.
T-search. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
How can we use IT for women's safety?
Well, I can only tell you, first use the mobile phone properly.
Yes.
A very straight
Yes.
answer to that is keep your movement detail to your family and friends available. But I think IT use ought to be improved. But the real thing should be a social kind of awakening. What the Prime Minister said on 15th of August. And when the parents ask their daughter, "Tum kahan gayi thi?" they must begin to ask their sons, "Tum kya karke aaye ho?" When this will begin, I'm sure the safety will become all the more stronger. I think you'll have to leave me.
Last.
All right.
Professor Balasubramanian from Coimbatore. I'm in the field of management education. While there has been tremendous improvement in the utilization of ICT and the use of ICT, I find that many of these educational regulatory bodies like AICTE or UGC and things like that, if you see their portals and the ease of use of these portals, it is, to put it very mildly, pathetic. Can something be done about that?
Well, I can only tell you, once the Digital India has become a national program being driven by the Prime Minister himself, the after effects in other departments would be felt. As you all know, day after tomorrow, the Prime Minister is holding a meeting with top industries of India to carry forward his Make in India program, where all of us have to remain there. And that program is going to be beamed alive in the entire world. apart from India. Therefore, once these game-changing exercises are going to be there, surely other departments will be constrained to upgrade their infrastructure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for...
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I could have taken your questions more. All right, from my last side, that lady in the last, okay? That lady in the last. No more. I have to go to other meetings, please, go ahead. हाँ वो तो है ना. Yes, last question now.
Thank you, sir.
Identify yourself.
My name is Sadia Roma Khan, and the best part, I think, of your government is उसने दूर तक देख लिया. Thank you, sir. I think that's the best part of your government. कि मैं बहुत देर से हाथ उठा रही थी कि सर की नजर अब आए, but I really
मेरी नहीं,
appreciate.
निखिल की नजर. Yeah, be very clear about it.
Yes, sir. So I am actually working as a corporate social responsibility manager. However, I would like to introduce myself as being a student of law. That interests me कि मैं अपने हाथ कानून के ऊपर करती रहूं कि सर देख लें. So my question is that well said and spoken about the legal part that we do have pending cases in the court. However, what I feel after visiting the rural India, that Anganwadi Center has been one of those achievement of Indian government जो हिंदुस्तान के हर कस्बे, हर गांव में पहुंचा हुआ है. So likely, why doesn't the Indian government develop something for the law part for the Indian citizens?
Well, I can only tell you this is a good idea for suggestion. We have got our alternative dispute redressal mechanism. We have got legal awakening courses. I see all these things are done. I think that is an exercise where we can do in partnership.
Exactly, sir.
And the government also needs to work, NGOs also need to work, so that people who are in really having a serious grievance must have an outlet.
Because sir, that is what उससे क्या होता है rural connect जो है आपके पास redressal forums जरूर होंगे district level पे, but because people relate themselves so easily to the Anganwadi center, there is where law can be so approachable by the people.
Surely that is an area to look after because you have got Gram Panchayat Kacharis also.
Exactly.
So
But people
Anganwadi,
fear, sir, people fear even to go and sit in the panchayat.
let us not
and-
argue, appreciate my constraint on time. Only thing I take from you is that this community service centers of the IT, which is operational about 2 lakhs in India, needs to be improved further.
Exactly.
Can we have some digital legal literacy also?
Exactly.
That is the question to be
E-learning,
considered.
yeah.
I'll look into it.
Thank you,
Surely.
sir. Yeah.
Sir, thank you very much for taking the questions from the floor. As we all heard, there would not be more, we don't need to hear more inspiring speeches than the ones our minister has just been given. May I request Sri Sudhir Jalanji to end, Sudhir Babu to give his concluding remarks.
Thank you, Ravi Shankar ji. Thank you, Nikhil. First of all, my very kind appreciation of your personal comments which you made about me. And we are grateful in IMA that you accept our invitation. May I say, sir, you should be even more grateful. 2 years back you came, you were deputy leader. You come again, now where you are. So you must make it a habit to come more and more often. Sir, you have already revolutionized ICT. Just 2 or 3 quick comments, because you are in a hurry. Our next speaker, Mr. Chidambaram, has already arrived. 2 questions only I will leave with you. When do we get a Baidu and a Alibaba in India? I am not even looking at Google, I am saying when do we get these? And we are hoping that during your next 2 or 3 years, you will be nurturing this innovation, this development and designing. This will be our ID, innovation design. The other question I ask you, sir, is in your other hat of law. One of the major shortcomings of India is the slow speed of judiciary. Anything which goes to the judiciary, we take it, it's never going to be finalized. I have a humble suggestion. Under Shri Modi, your government has started working 12 to 14 hours a day. I know personally you never leave office before 10 in the night. Why cannot judiciary do 2 shifts? One even if the judges are very occupied. Enroll more, have one shift which is 8 to 2, another shift 2 to 8. Half the laws, half the time will go that way, and see to it that there are not too many appeals, infructuous appeals coming all the time. And even the PIL in the RTI is not overdone. So my appeal to you is to speed up judiciary, then only India will be able to grow. Thank you once again for joining.
Thank you very much, sir. That was the session on reprogramming India for fast growth. ICT is the key. I would just request Mr. Keval Handa, past President IMA, to do the honors of presenting a small token of our appreciation at IMA to the Minister, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad. Thank you, sir, for being here. To Mr. Nikhil Meswani. To Mr. Nikhil Meswani, thank you, sir, for being with us here this morning. And to Mr. Sudhir Jalan, who's our convention chairman and chairman Neo Foods. Thank you so much, sir, for doing the honors. Thank you, Mr. Handa.